Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog, and we gotta talk about Game 2, because Game 2 had a lot of good shit. I'm not gonna lie, Game 2 had a lot of good shit about it. The Pacers versus Bucks series. In Game 2, the Pacers won 125 to 108, I believe. I had a lot of stuff on my mind after the game last night, but it was just Eastern Standard Time. It was after 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, I'm not making a video at 11 o'clock at night. I had a lot of really fresh ideas. I'm just hoping I kind of remember them for this. But yeah, we won 125 to 108, and today was a lot of fun at work with the Knicks fans. I'm not gonna lie. I was walking around all day asking the Knicks fans how they like their venison, and it was a fucking fun time. So the thing is, we got a lot of good things to talk about. So, first being, let's touch base with a guy that a lot of you think I hate, and that's Andrew fucking Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard did his thing, man. I love it when a young guy, after their first playoff game ever, comes out in game two and is like, yeah, I fucking live for this, okay? Like, Andrew Nembhard came out, fired up. He scored 20 points, shot 8 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 4 personal fouls with 0 turnovers, but Andrew Nembhard set the fucking tone. I'm gonna just call it what it is. Like, I know Siakam did his thing. Halliburton had another 12 and 12. I know Miles had an all right game, but it was just the idea, man. Like, actually, Miles had a pretty good game, 22 and 7. Andrew Nembhard came out and was like the trendsetter last night. Like, he got up in Damian Lillard's face. He was talking shit to Damian Lillard, and we learned that Andrew Nembhard can bring that shit on defense. We learned a lot of shit last night. What we learned is, like, Andrew Nembhard's got that dog in him, okay? The Discord was going fucking crazy. We were like, yo, playoff Nembhard is a fucking thing. Like, I'm calling it what it is. Playoff Nembhard is officially a thing. And I was like, yo, this is his second playoff game. And I was a little worried. I'm like, bro, like, Andrew Nembhard is talking shit to Damian Lillard after he just gave us, 35 the game before that? He scored 34 in this game, and they still fucking lost. Like, I was like, yo, that had to be demoralizing for Bucks fans and the Bucks as a whole. Now they're probably like, okay, we need Giannis back. But this was a game in which Andrew Nembhard not only talked shit, but backed it up and was like, yo, like it's one thing in the playoffs to let one guy kill you, right? We can let Damian Lillard kill us every fucking game, but we learned a lot of shit last night. And the idea that Andrew Nembhard was like, you know what? Even if Damian Lillard scores 34, if you score 20 and just make that 34 points a very hard 34 points to get, I'm fine with it. I don't give a fuck that you give up 34. You know why? Because one player is not going to beat an entire team. That will forever be true in the playoffs, okay? Like, yeah, you can have a guy that goes fucking crazy, but if it's not a team effort, 9 times out of 10, you don't win. Okay, so I'm perfectly fine with Damian Lillard scoring 35 a game against us if it means that he's the only one who's capable of beating us. So, Andrew Nembhard, great game. Like, for his second playoff game ever, I actually thought it was kind of ballsy. Like, Andrew Nembhard gained a lot of my respect last night, because I was like, yo, this is his second playoff game ever. Like, we know he's shaky on offense, and he's going at Damian Lillard of all people. Like, this could end very badly. And he held his own. I gotta give him credit. He held his own. Pascal Siakam had a really good night. 37 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 16 of 23 from the floor. I don't give a fuck what you guys say, okay? Pascal Siakam's getting that bag this summer, okay? Like, to come out in the first game and score 36, and then you come out in the second game and score 37, I mean, it's very obvious that the Bucks don't have an answer for Pascal Siakam. Okay? Like, Bobby Portis couldn't stop. Nobody they put on Pascal Siakam could fucking stop him. And I'm going to be honest, if we don't trade for Pascal Siakam at the a week or two before the trade deadline, we're not a playoff team. We're a playing team, and we probably get eliminated in the first round. Pascal Siakam at least gives us hope that we can get to the second round. So, because honestly, Halliburton's not playing at the level I had expected him to. He's not playing bad, but he's also not playing at the level that we're used to. So to have a guy like Siakam on our roster has, regardless of what people think about him or the offense or what have you, Siakam is the reason we're here. And Siakam is I'm gonna be honest, man. If I will buy a Siakam jersey if he takes less money, so we can bring in a guy like Paul George or something like that. Like at that point, it's jersey worthy. Like I gotta call it what it is. Like at that point, it's jersey worthy. But actually, it's jersey worthy right now. But it's just the idea. Like Siakam's been playing out of his fucking mind. Aaron Nesmith was impressive last night. I mean, granted, 4 of 10 from the field's not great, but 3 of 8 from 3. I'll live with that. Nesmith was at least physical on defense. Nesmith, another one who had 4 fouls, but only had 1 turnover. I mean, as a team, I'm going to be honest with you, man. As a team, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 turnovers for the entire game. Like 5. That's fucking phenomenal. Like, we didn't turn the ball over. There was a lot of good that came out of last night's game. Halliburton had 12 and 12, 4 rebounds, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. Halliburton still hasn't been the guy that we had expected him to be, but it's still good nonetheless. Shepard played good. Toppin played good. TJ McConnell was all right. TJ McConnell was one of those guys that, like, in the first half, he came out and we were like, okay, he can't guard Dame. Then, like, Andrew Nembhard came in and set the fucking tone for a second time, and after that, TJ McConnell realized, like, you got to get up in him. Like, you got to make it so Damian Lillard can't do a fucking thing. And TJ McConnell at that point started to hold his own against Lillard. So it's nice to see, like, it started off bad, and then all of a sudden TJ McConnell made an adjustment. Like, I can't give him any space, and it went better in the second half. Now, to talk about the team as a whole for a minute, we learned a lot last night. And what we learned is in an NBA playoffs where everybody's running half-court offense, okay, we're going to be the team that runs fast break offense and runs motherfuckers out of the gym, because that's what we need to do. I understand, like, one thing that came to my mind last night while watching that game, it's like in the first half where we were just like, fuck it. Fuck rebounding. Fuck all this other shit. We're just going to get out and run. We're going to beat them by running, and it worked. Like, in the first half, like, you could tell, tired legs were everywhere on the Bucks. Damian Lillard was fucking gassed. He didn't feel like running. And I was like, and suddenly, once they're all gassed, we're up by 10, 12 points, right? Then they started to come back in the start of the second half. And then, sure enough, end of the third, start of the fourth, here comes the fast break Pacers again. All of a sudden, oh, now we're running them out of the fucking gym again. It is very obvious that against the Bucks, we have to just get out and run. We have to make them run. And if we can do that and get them with tired legs and shit, this is going to be an easy series. This will be a series that's over in 5 games if we can do that against them. And I expect it to continue, but also, we got to give Rick some credit. I know people don't like to give Rick credit. I know people like to get on Rick's ass a lot, but he made adjustments. Compared to Game 1, compared to Game 2, was night and day. And I was trying to tell people that at work. Like, all the Knicks fans at work, they were like, oh, you guys are getting swept. I'm like, bro, there's at least 5 or 6 guys on my team that this was their first playoff game ever. Like, Game 2 is not going to be the same thing. Now they know what to expect. Sure enough, we come out and we fucking beat them in Game 2. So, it's just the idea, like, Rick's adjustments were actually, like, really, really good. We were trapping on defense instead of just trying to play one-on-one. The screen rotations were a lot better. They weren't fucking great, but, I mean, like, they were better. Like, the defense as a whole was better. Guys were aggressive. Guys were up in people's chest. Guys were not giving them, like, spots and shit. Like, they weren't letting guys get to their spots. When it came to Damian Lillard, it was like if they got into the corner, they were trapping. Damian Lillard, as soon as he got the ball, they were doubling. They were doing to Damian Lillard what the Bucks have been doing to Tyrese Halliburton the entire fucking series, and it works. Okay, in the playoffs, you gotta double team some guys. Now, I will say this, going into Game 3, I have a feeling they're gonna try to make Tyrese Halliburton beat us, because Siakam, this is the second game that Siakam has almost posted a 40 piece on them. They're going to, like, double team Siakam and make other guys beat us. That's gonna be the strategy going into Game 3 at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, I believe, on Friday. So I could be wrong about it. Let's see. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. So yeah, on Friday night, we're playing at Gamebridge. We're playing at home. I have a feeling that the Bucks are gonna double Siakam and make Tyrese Halliburton beat us. And you know what? I'm fairly confident. I'm going to call it, like, if you're going to let Tyrese Halliburton shoot, I don't want to see none of this. We're only taking fucking 8 shots. We're only taking 7. No. I expect Tyrese Halliburton to be jacking that bitch everywhere, okay? Like, if they're going to double Siakam, it's your turn. Like, and you know what? That's the obvious strategy for the Bucks going into this game, because clearly doubling Tyrese and letting Siakam play is not working for you. So now what they got to do is, like, Siakam's playing well, Halliburton's in a slump. I expect him to play that way. Double Siakam and make someone else beat you. So that's probably going to be the strategy going into Friday night's game for the Bucks. Now, I will say this, it's nice to see, though, that this team is growing up in front of our eyes very fast. And one thing that I said in the Discord last night, and it still holds to be true, I wish Ben Mathurin could have played in this series. That's like my going out on this. I wish Ben Mathurin could have played in this series, because this would have been like, I just feel like Ben Mathurin would have thrived in this situation. Like, whole team is fucking manning up on defense. Even Jarris Walker got minutes last night. I mean, and Jarris Walker's a guy that I didn't expect to get minutes at all during the playoffs. But they played Jarris Walker last night, and I'm like, yo, like, Ben, I just feel like if Ben Mathurin was playing in this game last night, Ben Mathurin would have, like, we would have gotten another glimpse of what Ben Mathurin truly will be one day. And these are the series, this Bucks series, these are the series where we separate the boys from the men. You know, and I know that's kind of like a weird saying to say, but like all these young guys, like who's going to relish in these moments and who's actually going to rise to the occasion? Andrew Nembhard stepped up, right? I wish Isaiah Jackson would maybe get more minutes to see like what he can do, but with Brook Lopez shooting threes like he's fucking Curry, that's probably not going to happen. But like Jalen Smith, right? Miles Turner stepping up. Like Miles is stepping up. Like bro, like let it be known that 2024 was the year that Miles became a fucking man. Okay? Because like for years now, my biggest gripe with Miles has been he doesn't fucking rebound. He doesn't really score that great. Like, you know, what is Miles? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always said he was expendable, right? After this year, I don't think Miles is expendable anymore. I think Miles is truly, at this point, a top 10 center in the league. Now that I'm watching him play, I'm like, bro, like, he's finally playing like a center. I mean, who'd he dunk on? He dunked on somebody recently, and I was like, yeah, like, Miles has finally arrived. And it sucks that, like, it took this long, but better late than never. But, like, Miles is rising to the occasion. Siakam is rising to the occasion. Nembhard's rising to the occasion. Aaron Nesmith is, like, yeah, he hasn't played great, but he's at least, like, he's given effort. Ben Shepherd, like, all these guys, right? TJ McConnell. This is what we need. And in the playoffs, I understand you go from about like an 11, 12-man rotation down to like an 8-man rotation. But it's just the idea, like, it's just nice that Obi Toppin stepping up. Like, it's nice to see guys that we kind of like put all our eggs in one basket on are actually like rising to the occasion and becoming the players that we think they can be. You know, like Andrew Nembhard was a guy that like last year I was really high on him. This year I've been kind of down on him. But like, playoff Nembhard's a thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, playoff Nembhard, though? Like if he can become, like, I don't know, like a gritty kind of, like, shit-talker guy, and it looks like he is going to be that could be huge for this team. Like, I know that feels weird to say, but I feel like every team needs their Draymond Green type of guy, right? And if Andrew Nembhard can become that, like a guy who's just like, yeah, I'm going to let you know I'm fucking here, and I'm going to make you work your ass off for every single fucking point, fine. Like, I feel like every team needs that guy. At least every championship team needs that guy. Like, even the early 2000s Pacers, right? Like, every good Pacers team that has gone to a finals, like an Eastern Conference Finals, has had that guy, right? Like, granted, early 2000s had Steve, you know, we had Stack, we had Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, we had a couple goons on the squad, right? But like even in the 2010s, like we had David West. If Andrew Nembhard can become that guy, like that I think would be really big. We had David West and Lance Stevenson. Like Lance Stevenson wasn't stepping down to nobody either. If Andrew Nembhard can become that guy, that's a big win for us. And Ben Mathurin is another guy that I think will eventually become that same type of dude. But it kills me, man. It absolutely kills me that Ben Mathurin can't play in this series, because this is like, like, these are big like, this series in particular is a big development step for everybody on our roster, and it sucks that Ben Mathurin is missing it, because, like, I'd pay a hell of a lot of money to see him play in it, because I just think Ben Mathurin's one of those dudes that's like, when his number gets called, like, he plays better. I don't know, like, he's just that type of fucking guy, and it's like, the first time he played LeBron, came out and held his own. Like, when Ben Mathurin's number gets called, he's a guy that generally, like, he rises to the occasion. And I know it's killing him sitting at home. I know it is. Like, anybody who's the type of competitor that Ben Mathurin is, and I'm just going to tell you guys firsthand, okay? Like, I know for a fact, with how competitive Ben Mathurin is, it's killing him to sit home and watch them play this team, and the amount of shit talk that goes on, the idea that this is becoming like a rivalry, and the odds are, like, if we beat them, we're going to be playing the fucking Knicks in round 2. Like, bro, like, I know Ben Mathurin is wishing he was playing right now. And you know what? It sucks that he's not, but a lot of good things came out of this game, man. Like, and as crazy as it sounds, I know a lot of teams don't run fast break offense in the playoffs, but we're going to be that fucking team. I'm going to tell you right now. Like, as a team like the Pacers, where you lead the league in fast break points and you're top 2 in offense, and you run a fast break style, you have to make other teams play your style. Like, if the Pacers are going to win this series and make any type of run in these playoffs, they have to make other teams play their game. And in the NBA playoffs, everybody likes to run half-court offense. If you can make other teams play fast break offense and play your game, that's a little uncharacteristic for the playoffs, and maybe something other teams are not actually expecting, because that's how we beat the Bucks last night. That's how we beat them, was getting out, running, and making them fucking tired. That's what this team does better than any other team in the league. We run motherfuckers out of the gym. We run them off the floor quite literally. And If we're trying to play other teams' games, if we're trying to play half-court offense, it's not going to work. I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to work. This team is built to get out. Like, the whole reason we acquired Pascal Siakam was because he was number one in fast break. No, let me rephrase that. He was the number 1 transition scorer in the league when we traded for him. Even when he played for Toronto, he was the number 1 transition scorer in the NBA. Now, granted, Siakam is still capable in scoring in a half-court offense, but, like, if you don't play to what makes you who you are, you're not going to win. And taking the Bucks out of their element a little bit, where it's like, yeah, guess what, motherfucker? We're gonna run, and whether or not you like it, it's gonna happen. We saw in the moments where we were just like up and down, up and down, up and down for maybe 8 straight points. Okay, suddenly Damian Lillard's gassed, Bobby Portis is gassed, Brook Lopez is gassed, okay? And with Siakam and Miles Turner being on our team, I'm going to close on this. I feel like there's zero reason we should be a bad switching team when it comes to defense. There's zero reason. With how nimble Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner are, there is zero reason we should be bad at switch defense. Like, none at all. There's zero reason for it. But gotta give credit where credit is due, man. We showed up last night. Everything was better. We didn't turn the ball over a lot. Okay, granted there was foul calls, but you know what? At least we were aggressive. Like, we showed the Bucks, like, we're not gonna be as easy of an out as you might have thought we were in game 1. And Rick switching the defense to being more of a trapping defense and not so much an isolation one-on-one defense proved to be effective and be very effective at that. So, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what Game 3 brings on Friday. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like, helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.